Hi Wafetu, welcome to my YouTube channel. For new viewers, welcome back for returning viewers. I've got something pretty cool to show you, but I'm gonna do it a bit practically. I'm going to look at developments in the Western Cape, or rather new developments. I saw a few that came in this week, so that's what I'm going to use because my new model doesn't have any transfer cost calculation, so it only works for new developments the way that it's currently set up. Yeah, I'm not finished with it, I'm still working on it. Yeah, so this is the development. Blue Downs, right? So this is the development. We're quickly just going to go through it, and then we're going to go through the numbers to see if the investment case makes sense. Like, share, subscribe. We're pushing investment property using data. So yeah, okay. It looks pretty modern. It looks really good, relatively spacious. The room is also quite spacious. The kitchen is a mid-rand kitchen, but what can you do? It's pretty big. Like, there's a lot of cars, and notice that the parking isn't covered. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 blocks, and then there's visitors parking outside. This is quite nice. I've seen it in Midrand, and I've seen it here in Cape Town, in the northern suburbs. It's very nice. There's parking for people when they come visit you, and sometimes you just want to chill in the car with them, and when Ubers pick you up. All right, this is the rendering of the bedroom. So yeah, 2-bedroom, pretty spacious. Both have cupboards, and then there's the shared bathroom which has a shower, and then there's the kitchen. You come in main door, you've got the kitchen, and then that's the living room. And then I think is that just repeated, and then yeah, that's the rendering again. All right, now let's look at the numbers. They're saying 695 to 895, right? It's a Kryfontein. Okay, so they're saying it was listed like a week ago. It's called the Hub, Heart of Kryfontein. This development offers a selection of spacious 1 and 2-bedroom apartments, each featuring a sleek open plan layout that seamlessly blends functionality with modern design. Every apartment includes a well-fitted kitchen, a comfortable lounge area, and a modern bathroom, creating the perfect space for both relaxation and entertaining. Large windows inviting plenty of natural light. That's usually good in summer, giving each home a bright and airy feel. And then residents at the Hub will enjoy a host of practical amenities, including ample parking for residents and visitors. That's what I saw outside. Beautifully landscaped communal areas and secure access for peace of mind. Whether you're a young professional, a first-time buyer, or an investor looking for an excellent rental opportunity, that's me and you. The Hub provides an active lifestyle package at an affordable price. Conveniently situated close to major transport routes, that's always good. Shopping centers, schools, and other everyday essentials. The Hub truly connects you to everything you need. Discover a vibrant new way of living where comfort meets convenience at the Hub at Kryfontein. Right. So the 1-bedroom is what you're seeing here. That ranges from 695 to 825. That is 37 square meters. And then you've got a 2-bedroom which ranges from 800,000 to 895, and that is 51 square meters. So we're going to look at the cheapest of the cheapest, just to see if the cheapest of the cheapest passes the test, then the highest will also pass the test. Well, not necessarily, but we're going to bother looking into it, right? But if the cheapest doesn't meet the requirement, then the higher we go, the more debt we're taking up, because we are leveraged investors, we are bond appliers, we're not cash investors at this point in time and at this point in our portfolios. So we're definitely going to run with the 695, the 1-bedroom apartment, and let's go. Right, so like I said, this is the development in Peerless Park East, and yeah, it just got launched a week ago, and it's by Harcourts, and it's called the Hub, right? So this is the model that I want to show you, right? So we're going to put in an offer price of 695. Why? Because it's a new development. So with a new development, there's really nothing you can do. Never mind when it turns gray, it's busy just calculating. Let me move this to here. So this is a reworking of the investment property model that I had in Excel, and I'm going to be sending this to all of the people who already bought the investment model in Excel. I realized it wasn't super workable, like it didn't have a great user interface, but it gave you an understanding of what to do with your model. So they're gonna get first access on this, and they're gonna get the access so that they can test it out and get back to me and give me feedback. And that is well before I launch it to everyone. As you can see, it's running locally on my machine, so the other people don't really have access at this moment. We're not going to put in a deposit, we're just going to put in a R1 there. We don't have transfer costs because, again, I said my model isn't able to calculate that. And at the same time, my this is a new development, so there are no transfer costs. Refurbishment, nothing. It's ready to move in. And then rental amount, we're gonna put in 7,000, but I'll tell you where we're gonna get those numbers a bit more of that. I'm hesitant to press enter because then the guy up top here starts running and he starts calculating. Let's do 6.2% for rental growth rate. Oh, he's already calculating anyways. There's 6.2 rental growth rate, we'll keep it at that. Vacancy rate, we'll keep it at 8.3%. What that is just 1/12. That's all it is, right? We're saying 1 month out of the 12 months of the year, the what's the name, the unit could be vacant. It's just stuff that we want to keep in the back of our mind. Levies, did they give us an idea of the levies, what they could possibly be? They didn't. Okay, so for a 1 bedroom, I'm going to assume 1.5. 2.1 is a bit rich. I'm going to assume 1.5. And then rates, it's Kraaifontein. I'm going to assume 450, something a bit lower than 755. But obviously we can do more research, we can go into the area, we can get various viewings, we can chat to agents to get more of that information, or we can ask our AI assistant. But let's see if I have enough data for it. But we'll come back to that. We're still here on investment analysis. Repairs and maintenance I'll keep. Property management I'll keep at 5 as well. It keeps recalculating. I already know that that's something that's going to frustrate my users, so I'll need to fix it. My bond interest rate is 11. My bond is 20 years. I'm going to hold this investment for 20 years. I'm expecting about 6% appreciation each year. Cost of sales when I exit, I'm expecting the agent to want 5.5% of the sale, and then the market value is 695, right? That's what we bought it at. And then the scenario parameters, so I also have a scenario analysis here. So if interest rates go up, if interest rates go down, all of that. So let's say if interest rates go up by 0.5%, and then if they also go down by 0.5, let's see, 0.5. Okay, let's just do 1. Yeah, let's just do 1%. So I need to make sure that I'm able to change it to 0.5 and 0.25, because that is the nature of interest rate hikes and decisions and cuts. Discount rate I'll keep at 6.3, inflation on levies at 9, inflation on rates is that. So I'm going to say calculate my returns. This is what we have. Quick summary of the key assumptions. We've got the purchase price of did I add too many zeros? Yes. Okay, that was gonna throw it way off. Okay, that should fix it. Phew. Right, let's just double check. We've got a purchase price of 695,000. Let me remove this. Yes. All right, we've got a purchase price of 695,000. We've got a deposit of R1. We've got monthly rent of 7,000, vacancy of 1/12 months, holding period of 20 years, appreciation of 6%. We're gonna finance the bond of 649,999. We're gonna pay 7,174. So already our bond amount alone is less than our monthly rent. And then interest rate is 11% and 20 years. This is what we're seeing. Negative. We're just gonna rerun because it didn't run. It still has the 6 million. That's why my NPV is minus 8 million. So here it's actually a positive in IRR, which is sorry, I've got, where's my IRR? I've got an explainer here. Did I remove it? Okay, I need to bring that back. Maybe I can click on here. Quickly remind me what IRR stands for in investments. Internal rate of return. I already know, but I want to show you. Okay, that is andi. So I remember I showed you guys last time that I was cooking andi. So I combined andi with my model, and now you've got an AI property investment assistant within the portal. So IRR, internal rate of return, in simple property investment terms, it's the annualized percentage of return you can expect to earn on money over the entire lifetime of investment, taking into account all the cash you put in and all the cash you put out. So that's what we're seeing here. So we're not an unleveraged. Unleveraged means you're buying cash. We're not buying cash. We are financing. So this is us. So at the end, at year 20, I'm going to sell this for 2.1 million, but I'm not interested in year 20. I'm interested in now. I want to look at now. What does this investment look like today? Right. So as you can see, today it's negative in year 1, negative 42,000, negative in year 2, negative 40,000. It becomes less and less negative, but it's very negative for years. So I'm not making any money off of this until year 20, which is when I sell. So if the exit strategy is positive rental income, then this isn't the investment for me, or I need to play around with my inputs. These are the detailed cash flows. Initially, I lose 695,000. That's the bond outlay. And then that's unleveraged if I were to buy cash. If I do buy financed, I only lose the R1 I put down as a deposit. In the second year, I have to fill for 42,900. That's the whole year. That's about 3,000 a month. Second year, I still have to fill. Third year, I still have to fill. Sorry, this is actually 3,500 a month. And then here it's 3,000 per month. So this is what the first 19 years look like. It's always negative. It becomes less negative, obviously, but it's still very negative. And I've got a 20-year term. That's where I get to exit the investment and make my money back, right? And that's why you've got a positive internal, rate of return, which is what you're seeing there as the positive 11%. But then you're making the leveraged NPV, which is the net present value of this investment, is at the end of this 20-year period, you're effectively making 330,000 off of this, and you've basically made 1.61 that multiple of the R1 because you only put in R1, right? And then if you were unleveraged, this is how much you'd make. Like if you were buying it cash, that's how much you might make. So what I'm going to do to try and get it a bit more positive, I'm going to increase my monthly rental to 7,500, right? That's Cape Town. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if the picture gets a bit better. The IRR should get a bit higher than the 11.97%. There you go, you've got 13%. And now you're making 417,652 versus the 684,117. So previously you were making 300 and something thousand, and now you're making slightly more. You're making slightly more money. Let's do a quick summary. So, sorry. So I'm still making 695. I'm still depositing R1. Monthly rent is 7.5 now, slightly higher, right? And then I've got a vacancy of 8.3, a holding period. I've got appreciation. I've got the bond amount. My monthly payment is lower than my rental amount now. But the problem with this is that I still have levies and rates and all of those things. That's the problem with this investment, right? So what you're basically seeing is, again, we're going to look at the leveraged cash flows, right? I'm just zooming in. Oh, this looks good. Okay. Now, what I'm basically seeing is, that it's negative at the beginning of 38,000, 35,000, still negative. And then around year 14, it turns around, it switches. That's the point of inflection from a negative to a positive, right? The following year, I start making my money. I'm making about 1,100 a year in year 15. In year 16, I'm making about 4,300. And then up until year 19, I'm making about 13,900 per year. And then year 20, I exit and I sell the investment. That's basically what you're seeing over here as well. Year 1, R1 deposit, minus 38, minus 35. And then it switches to positive in year 15, as you can see, where here I'm getting a positive number as my returns. So now I want to take you to the monthly cash flows for this exact scenario, where I have this purchase price and I've got this bond amount and I'm getting this amount of rental. So on a monthly basis, on average, over the first 5 years, right, over the first 5 years, because a lot can change. What I don't want to do is I don't want to look at a 20-year period. What you want to do is you want to look at the first 5 years of your investment, see if it makes sense, and if you want to get a portfolio, if you're making money in the first 5 years or it turns positive in the first 5 years, then you can add to your portfolio. But if it doesn't, then you've got more time to wait, and the bank is looking at you like, can we really trust you with this or more money? So on average, over the first 5 years, with the rental increments, you're getting about 8,500 Rand in rental. And then net operating income is about 4,300. And then, sorry, I'm putting something in here. And then average monthly expenses are 4.4. So do you see that that is about 8.5, which eats away at your total rent. So, and the monthly bond repayment is 7,174. What I haven't done is I haven't said hikes and interest rate hikes and all of that, because that's not really something that I would want to put in here, because that is based on markets, and that is quite difficult to predict for something that I'm trying to keep relatively simple. But what you're basically seeing is that my gross rental does increase at the end of the year, because of course I've got the increases penciled in, right? I've got that interest rate, I've got the where is it? Rental growth escalation of 6%. That's what you're seeing there at the end of every 12 months. That's what you're seeing the end of 12 months. That's what you're seeing there. But you see my net operating income also increases, but my costs are also increasing, right? Monthly. Why? Because there's an inflation on levies, there's an inflation on rental growth, yes, but there's also an inflation on my levies. My levies also increase, my property management also increase, my rates also increase with City of Cape Town. So that's all something that I want to be mindful of. And then when I look at the detailed monthly cash flows, again for the first 5 years, I need to stop making this an R, and this must also not be in rands. But on year one, month one, I'm paying 7,500 in rent. I've got a vacancy loss provision that I need to put away. I've got a repairs and maintenance provision I need to put away. I've got a property management that I need to pay out to whoever's managing my property. It can be Rawson, it can be whoever that I'm trusting to manage my property at the time. Where am I gonna put this? And then I've got levies, I've got rates, I've got insurance is 0 because it's a body corporate. So my levies includes my home insurance. I've got total expenses of 3.5, which means my net operating income is that. My bond repayment is that amount, and then my unleveraged cash flow is then that amount, which means I am left in the negative with my leveraged cash flow, because unleveraged is if I don't have a bond, and then leveraged is the negative that you're seeing there. So negative, then it becomes less and less negative, but it's still negative. And then at the end of the first 60 months, right, that's 59, 5 times 12, 5th year, 12th month, what I'm basically doing is I'm paying about minus 2.4 towards this bond. So it isn't worthwhile the way that we have it here. It's not worthwhile, at least not in the first 5 years. That's not an investment that I would go into. I mean, you can push the rental all you like, or you can remove the rental escalations, and let's say inflation on levies, inflation on rates, let me put that at 5. Let me put inflation on levies also at 5. And then let me put appreciation is fine at 6 because Cape Town, increased quite a bit. But let me put repairs and maintenance at 4 because it's a new development. So let's try and see what that does, if anything. Let's see if that does anything to my net operating income, because that's the problem. My monthly expenses are too high. Yes, so you see that went up because my monthly expenses went down from 4 point something to about 3.6 now. So it looks a bit better. The picture looks a bit better. I'm still getting a gross rental way less than 10,000, but I'm still, in the leverage sense, I'm still getting minus 1.7, which is better than the 2.2, right? It's way better than the 2.2 that I was getting. And then when you scroll, you'll see here that in year one, I'm still negative, but I'm only negative by minus 2.3. And then when the time goes, I'm only negative by the end of the first 5 years. I'm only in the negative by minus 1.6 per month. So I'm supplementing my investment by that amount. So if I remove the leveraged cash flow from this, and then I look at the gross rent and the net rental that looks a bit better, but you have to, because of the scale. But what actually matters is this is all that matters, the leveraged cash flow. Do you see that here it's deeply negative at minus 2.3, then it steps up at the end of the 12 month when I do my rental escalation. Let me move this again. When I do my rental escalation, it moves up, then it moves up, and then at the end, I'm only negative about 1.675, but I'm still in the negative, which means I'm still supplementing my investment with my own salary, which is not the greatest. Right, so that's monthly cash flows. We're going to keep the story the same, and then we're going to go to the bond amortization. What is the bond amortization? So bond amortization basically shows me how the bond repayment goes over the investment term. So that was my bond. Total interest is $1 million. Total interest is $1 million, if you can imagine that. And then the total principal is 695,000 because we paid $100 deposit. So in total, I paid total principal plus total interest, which is 1.7 million. That's a lot of money for a bond of 695, right? If you'll remember here, the bond is only 695,000. Okay, so what it's basically telling you is in the first 2 years, right, I'm paying 74,000 Rand in interest and only 11,000 Rand towards my principal, towards the actual loan. So I'm servicing the loan, but it's like every month that I pay, the money is mostly going towards interest and not towards the actual loan amount. And then that sort of changes in about year 14, whereby in year 14, the interest is still above the principal, but then the following year, in year 15, that's when you get the point of inflection, and then the interest starts being lower than the principal. Now you're starting to tear away at the bond. That's what you're basically seeing over there, right? That's basically what the bond amortization schedule is showing, but you can also look at it here. So the banking apps also have bond amortization schedules. So if it's something that you like looking at, you can always just get one from your app. I know FNB has one, especially for Westbank, your Westbank car loan. Right, so in month 1, you're paying 7,000, but only 802 is actually going to the principal, which is the loan. The bulk of it, the 6,370, is actually going towards your interest. Right, that's the first month. So here I was showing it at a year level in totality, whereas here I'm showing it at a month-on-month level. So in month 1, my balance is still 694, 1,196. You see, it's only 800 Rand less than what I paid. And then if you scroll, and then you get to the 60th month, you're seeing that your interest is 5,700. Your principal or your loan is still only getting 1,375 of your monthly repayment of 7,173.7 or 74. And your loan amount is still 631,155, which is a lot of money. Right, so this is my product, and these are my details. So I'm offering real estate investment analytics. I do property investment analysis. I can go to viewings with you, especially if you're in the Cape Town region. If you are in Gauteng, we can make a plan. I'm not a stranger to Gauteng, and I've got a lot of agents there that can help you along with the investment property. I do cash flow modeling, which is what you're seeing here. I do risk assessment, which is somewhat what you're seeing over here as well. Risk assessment is basically me just showing you in year 3, if this doesn't work out, then there's a scenario analysis. And then portfolio optimization is also what I discussed. It's at which time is it good for you to come in with a new bond and things like that. I'll also help you when you are going to buy the actual property, negotiating the rates, getting the paperwork in order, knowing what to do, getting more information on the process, looking at the body corporate financials, all of that I can help you with. I'm based in Cape Town, South Africa, and that is my email address if you want to get in touch. My cell phone number is not available for obvious reasons. And then, like I said here, investment property analysis, rental, yield counts, which is what you're seeing here, bond and financing scenarios, market trend analysis, and then custom financial models. Anything that you want, I can probably build. So that's the bond amortization leg. And then I just took an opportunity to sell the service, I guess. And then scenario analysis, like I said, is me basically doing a what if scenario. So what if interest rates increase? What if interest rates come down? So you see here, it's plus or minus 2 for interest rates. So it didn't take in the what's the name that I gave, so I need to fix that. So the base case is I'm getting about 18 in terms of the leverage internal rate of return. I'm getting about 18.53%, and then if the interest rates go up by 2%, then obviously the bond amount becomes higher. So that's what you're seeing here. The bond repayment becomes higher if interest rates are hiked by 2%. Highly unlikely. I mean, 2% is like a lot of hikes. And then if interest rates come down by 2%, my bond amount comes down. But my interest rate comes up. Okay, this is wrong. It's not +2 and it's not -2. Let me just make this what it's supposed to be, because I think that's the confusion. Okay. All right, so for a base case, yes, for base case, I'm paying 7,174. That's the usual 11% interest rate, right? And I'm getting a leveraged internal rate of return of 18%, which is what we saw on the front page, 18.53%, yes. And then it's always good when things tie up. It shows that your math is making sense. When interest rates grow by about from 11 to 13%, then my bond goes up, my net present value goes down from 647 to that, and then my internal rate of return comes down also. When interest rates come down, it's good for me. My internal rate of return goes up, I make more money. My leveraged net present value is 770,000, so I make way more money at the end of the investment. And then my monthly repayment is 6.3, so my bond repayment comes down. And then the appreciation stays at 6%. But if there's a strong market, and in terms of appreciation, but my interest rate stays the same, then my leveraged NPV goes up. Why? Because when I sell at a higher price, even though the bond repayment stays the same. But if the property market is weak, then what tends to happen is that my leveraged investment return is going to turn lower, because even though my bond repayment has stayed the same through time, property markets have not appreciated at what I expected, which was the 6%. They have in fact appreciated at only 4%, which basically means that when I sell at a lower price, and I get a net present value that is almost half what I initially envisaged. So in terms of graph wise, this is what you see. So your leverage return is 18%. That's the base case. Right, let me move this. Okay. That is the base case. And then if interest rates go up, then it comes down. If interest rates go down, then it's good for my internal rate of return. I make more money essentially. And then if there's a strong market appreciation, but interest rates remain the same, then I go up relative to the base case. Everything is relative to the base case. That's something to keep in mind. And then if there's a weaker market, then I get way less in terms of IRR. I get 14% relative to the base case of 18.52%. Right. Then that is the scenario analysis. And then when we get to the AI assistant, this is where you can basically ask it, tell me more about Raifontein. I am interested in buying property in that area. So what's happening here is that I've integrated the that I built, the tool that I built, and I showed a couple of maybe months ago. I've been away, I've been traveling a couple of months ago, and I'm basically trying to show you what it can do and how it fits into the model. So what you basically do is, now I'm looking at a particular model that I like from Property 24 or particular property, not model, and I just want to know more about the area now. So I feed this with obviously information that I'm getting from Stats SA, from TPN, and from other sources, so that it's enriched information and it's enriched data. So let's see what we're getting here. All right, so it says, I understand your interest in Driefontein. Sorry. It's an area that's gained significant attention from property investors. However, I must be upfront that I do not have a specific data-rich TPN report for Driefontein in my current data set. The detailed property report I have is for specific complex in Gqeberha, and it doesn't contain a breakdown for the Driefontein market. That said, based on general market knowledge of the Western Cape, I can provide you with the key factors and talking points that make Kraaifontein an area of interest for buyers like you. That's useful. So it's saying I don't know, but I know something somewhat related, and that could be helpful. That's very helpful for a tool. What makes Kraaifontein an interesting investment? Well, Kraaifontein has become a hotspot due to several powerful market dynamics. Affordability and value for money, it remains significantly more affordable than the central Cape Town suburbs. This allows investors to enter the Western Cape property market at a lower price point, often with the potential for higher rental yields. Strategic location and infrastructure, its position as a key node between the northern suburbs and the Cape Winelands, with easy access to the N1 highway, is a major draw. Major developments like the R300 interchange and the Overspool and Bridge City projects have improved accessibility and spur economic activity. Strong rental demand. So the area has a large and growing working class and middle class population and a strong demand for rental properties. This is often where you can find higher gross rental yields compared to more expensive suburbs. Okay, that's interesting. Key considerations and what to research. While the opportunities are clear, a savvy investor must also consider the challenges. Municipal service delivery, like many fast-growing areas, it has faced challenges with water, elect, and sewerage. It's crucial to research the current state of services in the specific part of Kraaifontein you're looking at. Property types and market segment. The market is diverse. You'll find everything from new security estates and townhouse complexes to older freestanding homes. The investment performance or yield capital growth tenant profile can vary dramatically between them. Security, the demand for properties in secured complexes or estates is very high, and this often commands a premium in both rental and sales prices. How to get the specific data you need. So to make an informed decision, you should seek out the same type of data I showed you for Summerstrand, but for Kraaifontein, I recommend you look for TPN Market Report for Kraaifontein. This is the gold standard. It'll give you the actual rental payment profiles, what percentage of tenants pay on time, average rental yields, and the proportion of investment properties in the area. Lightstone property area or property data. This will provide accurate sales price trends, average property values per segment, and capital growth rates. Local estate agents speaks to agents who specialize in the area. They have on-the-ground knowledge of which complexes have the best yields, the lowest vacancy rates, and most favorable tenants or reliable tenants. In summary, Kraaifontein presents a compelling case for investors seeking yield and growth potential, but it requires careful data-driven research into the sub-pockets and property types. Would you like me to explain how to interpret a TPN report? No. Thank you. That was very useful. Very useful. Can you tell me more about the Berger property report you were referring to? Are you able to attach that? And I am a visual learner, so can you show me a chart or two? Maybe compare Summerstrand to Kraaifontein. If you can. Okay, so I also have a couple of questions here that you can pre-click. So current rental yields, show me property appreciation rates in Cape Town, average property price in Jersey, all of that. So it says, okay, so I just wrote that and then I'm just waiting for it to respond and then we are going to see what it says. You can see the person up top there is busy like swimming, cycling, running. We'll see, we're waiting for the response. Let me know what you think about this tool. Let me know what feature you would enjoy. Let me know if it's something that you'd be willing to pay for, because that's obviously the next step, monetization. Ooh, that's a nice big response. Let's get into it. Okay. All right. So it says, I'm glad the previous info was useful. I'm happy to dive into the Gqeberha report, but I need to clarify a key limitation first. I cannot attach the original PDF and I cannot create a direct visual comparison chart between SummerStrand and Gryphonday because my data is exclusively for the SummerStrand area in Gqeberha. I have no corresponding data set in Gryphonday, okay? However, I can show you the type of data and analysis the Gqeberha report contains by creating text-based visualizations for SummerStrand. This will give you a powerful example of what to look for when you research Gryphonday, okay? Gqeberha report, it's a TPN rental market report that analyzes specific large residential complexes in SummerStrand. Provides an incredibly detailed data-driven snapshot of that micro market, rental payment behavior, most important metrics. So the rental profile for the SummerStrand complex. So 87% of people paid on time. 6% had a late payment between 1 or 7 days. That's the grace period. 2% had a late payment, and then 2% had short payment, and then 2% did not pay. What does this tell you? An 87% good payment rate is exceptionally strong. It indicates low risk for a landlord in a specific building with reliable rental income. And then chart 2, market comparison. This breaks down the property types within the complex, showing you what you're actually investing in. So 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, 3-bedroom apartments, the majority being 1-bedroom apartments. What this tells me, it's a high density apartment investment dominated by 1-bedroom units. This dictates a target tenant are likely single professionals or students and the type of rental demand. Chart 3, this is a hypothetical comparison, what I would look for in Gryphonday. So it says, since I lack the real data, here's a hypothetical side-by-side comparison to illustrate how the markets would likely differ. Please note the Gryphonday data is an educated guess for demonstration purposes. So they would look at the dominant property type and compare those. Target tenant, they would look at the rental yield, they would look at the payment profile, they would look at the capital growth driver, right? SummerStrand is coastal location, it's got a university close to it, and then Gryphonday, affordability and infrastructure development is coming through there. And then why the Gqeberha data is so valuable? Well, this report moves you from guessing to knowing, and that's the beauty of data science is, right? That's why I'm in the field. So instead of assuming students are bad tenants, the data proves that this specific complex have an 87% on-time payment rate. This is the level of detail you need to de-risk an investment. To get this for Gryphonday, you would need to source a similar TPN report focused on specific complex or suburb you're interested in. The comparison you ask for is absolutely the right way to think. It's about understanding the different risk-return profiles for various markets. Would you like me to explain how to interpret a rental yield calc in more detail, since it's a critical number in any report? No, thanks. That's okay. Can you tell me the name of the document for the SummerStrand information and the date? Okay, let's see what it says there. Right, like I said, you have to tell me what you think about this tool. We're just waiting for a response. Let me know what you think about the tool. Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's not? Is it something that you'd want to subscribe to on a monthly basis? Or is it something that you want to use while you're on a call with me? That would be on a booking basis as well. So I'll hear from you. I'm going to get guidance from you guys on this. It says, of course, so it's Q1 2024 specific, generated by TPN. It was current up to the first quarter of 2024, and then it's different from, which was also in the context. This focuses on that large complex in Gqeberha. So let me just see. I have a few complexes in Gqeberha, but I also have SummerStrand as a standalone. So maybe we can have a look at that. Right, so I also had this at Gqeberha. So we can see this, the payment profile. So 80% paid on time. Here, what did we say? How many paid on time? On time, 87%. So I don't think it's that complex. But I've got so many complexes that are possibly there. Maybe it's Linwood Gardens, Stain Lodge. Mm, I don't know. Stain Lodge, no, that's in Cape Town. All right, I'm not entirely sure. What is this? Lynn Gardens, that's also in Cape Town. All right, I'm not entirely sure which exact it's it's what's the name referencing, but I'm happy with the data. I'm happy with the responses. I'm happy with the back and forth. Um, yeah, like you guys will let me know what you think. I'm obviously working on a few things, and then there's the about us. I'm working on a few things, but my best bet is like to try and get this out and to get the guys who bought the property model to try it out and work with it. The only thing I haven't done is the transfer cost, and I don't think I want to. It's so much work as a separate calculation. I don't know if I want to put in the work for that. I think I can just leave it and then someone can just input the transfer cost for themselves. But yeah, like this is basically it's done. It's done. What I'm gonna work on is publishing for the small subset of people. If you wanna be in that subset and you are willing to pay a small price, let me know, and then I can add you to my little group of testers, and then you guys can give me back and forth and give me some information. I'm going away this weekend, but I'll be on my email. You guys can email me, and then we can chat through it and chop it up in the coming weeks. But yeah, I'm excited, like I said. And yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. It's getting a bit long, but I'm pumped, as you can imagine. I love building. Let's keep building. Quantum SA.